Welcome to our new series, Naval Names Through Time, where we delve into the lineage of the ships that protect the seas today. In each episode, we'll focus on a current naval vessel and trace the history of its predecessors, exploring the battles, the technology, and the sailors who have served under the same proud name. Today, we start with a name that embodies the very spirit of the Royal Navy, Daring. From the age of sail to the cutting edge of modern warfare, 7 ships have borne this name. This is the lineage of HMS Daring. Our story begins in 1804, a time when the Napoleonic Wars raged. The first HMS Daring was a 12-gun Archer-class gun-brig built in 1804 in Ipswich. She was a small, nimble vessel designed for coastal patrols and harassing enemy shipping. For 9 years, she served diligently in the Channel and the North Sea, capturing numerous merchant vessels. Her final chapter, however, was written off the coast of West Africa in 1813. Whilst on patrol off Guinea, her commander, Lieutenant William Pascoe, spotted 3 ships he believed to be Brazilian slavers. As he closed in, the terrible truth was revealed. They were 2 powerful French frigates and their prize. Outgunned and unable to escape, capture seemed inevitable. However, in a final act of defiance, Pascoe ran HMS Daring aground and set her ablaze, denying the enemy their prize. Most of the crew of the first Daring escaped to Sierra Leone, their bravery setting a precedent for all who would follow. Lieutenant William Pascoe was later killed when he joined the crew of a British frigate that returned to engage the French frigates. 31 years later, in 1844, the second HMS Daring was built in Portsmouth. Another 12-gun brig, she was a product of the Victorian era's innovation in naval architecture. She was part of the experimental squadrons, where new ship designs were pitted against each other to find the best sailing characteristics. The Times of London noted her winning look, which made her a popular vessel for sailors to join. Under the command of renowned abolitionist Commander Henry James Matson, she served on the North America and West Indies station, playing her part in the suppression of the slave trade. After a respectable 20 years of service, she was sold in 1864. A tangible piece of her legacy remains. Her beautifully carved figurehead is preserved to this day in the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich. The third HMS Daring, launched in 1874 in London, represented a new age of naval technology. A Phantom-class sloop, she was a composite vessel with an iron frame and a wooden hull, and was equipped with both sails and a steam engine. This Daring spent most of her career on the vast Pacific and China stations, a vital presence in protecting British interests and conducting hydrographic surveys. She even undertook work for the Canadian government, charting the entrances to rivers in British Columbia. After 15 years of service in the far reaches of the globe, she was sold for scrap in 1889. The late 19th century saw the emergence of a new type of warship, the torpedo boat. To counter this threat, the Royal Navy developed the torpedo boat destroyer, a new class of warship that was fast, agile, and packed a powerful punch for her size. Launched in 1893, the fourth HMS Daring was a prototype of this revolutionary class. She was a sensation. During her sea trials, she reached a blistering 28.21 knots, earning her the title of the fastest boat ever. This Daring and her sister ship HMS Decoy were the forerunners of the modern destroyer, albeit considerably smaller at around 260 tons displacement. When first built, she was armed with one 12-pounder, 3 6-pounder, and 3 18-inch torpedo tubes. However, naval technology was advancing at an incredible pace, and the introduction of the steam turbine soon made her obsolete. She was sold in 1912, paving the way for a new era of naval warfare. The fifth HMS Daring, a D-class destroyer launched in 1932 in Southampton, was a product of the interwar years. She was 1,350 ton standard displacement and armed with four 4.7-inch guns, one 3-inch and two 2-pounder anti-aircraft guns, as well as 8 21-inch torpedo tubes in 2 quadruple launchers. She served on the China Station and for a time in 1934 was under the command of a man who would become one of the most famous figures of the 20th century, Lord Louis Mountbatten. She was transferred to the Mediterranean Fleet shortly before World War II, along with 3 of her sister ships, including HMS Duncan. In January 1940, she moved to the Home Fleet and was assigned escort duties in February. Her service in the war would be tragically short. On the 18th of February 1940, while escorting a convoy to Norway, she was torpedoed by the German U-boat U-23, commanded by the ace Otto Kretschmer. The explosion was catastrophic, and HMS Daring sank in minutes, taking 157 of her 162 crew with her. The 6th HMS Daring, launched in 1949, was the lead ship of a new class of destroyers that bore her name. These were large, powerful ships of 2,850 tons standard displacement, over double the previous ship with the name of Daring. She was armed with 6 4.5-inch guns, 10 21-inch torpedo tubes, radar-guided 40mm anti-aircraft guns, and a Squid anti-submarine mortar. The Daring was the largest destroyer built for the Royal Navy to that date, and was the last destroyer with a primary armament of guns. Her career was varied and eventful. In 1956, she took part in the controversial Suez Crisis, providing naval gunfire support during the Anglo-French landings. She also served extensively in the Far East and the Mediterranean, a constant presence in a world of shifting alliances and regional conflicts. After over 2 decades of service, she was decommissioned in 1971 and scrapped. One ship of the Daring class that was built and operated by the Royal Australian Navy, HMAS Vampire, has been preserved at the Australian National Maritime Museum in Sydney. So if you're lucky enough to visit Sydney, go see her. And that brings us to the current and 7th HMS Daring, the lead ship of the Type 45 destroyers. Commissioned in 2009, she is one of the most advanced air defense destroyers in the world. Her Sea Viper missile system, guided by the powerful Samson radar, is world class. Even though she has been beset by propulsion issues, her service already has been truly global. In 2013, she embarked on a remarkable circumnavigation of the globe, conducting exercises with allied navies in the Pacific, including the Royal Australian Navy's International Fleet Review. During this deployment, she was diverted to the Philippines to provide vital humanitarian aid in the aftermath of a typhoon. She has also seen service in the Persian Gulf, protecting vital shipping lanes. Recently completing a major power and propulsion upgrade, HMS Daring is preparing for the challenges of the future, ensuring she can continue to protect our interests around the world for years to come. From a 12-gun brig lost in the act of defiance to a state-of-the-art destroyer across 220 years, the name Daring has been attached to ships at the forefront of naval evolution. Thank you for watching.